Welcome to the Goon Squad Sports Radio Show podcast. This is the first 40. Yours truly, Puma, with you, along with Black Thor and Ice Water, giving you the first 40. After our first 40, we go to our overtime, 90 minutes on Blog Talk Radio. Join us over there. And I want to start off the show a little bit different. I know I gave you the topics, Black.
Yes, sir.
I want to start it out by giving the group, I guess, everybody a taste of our eye test of the NFL. So what was your eye test this week?
You know, it's interesting. I thought the first 2 weeks, you could tell a lot of teams didn't have preseason, the way they were playing. But some of the more refined teams this week, to me, kind of stepped up and played better. Carolina Panthers, you know, they kind of stepped up and showed that what you might have saw the first 2 weeks wasn't really them. Kansas City, for the most part, kind of been grinding for the most part, kind of consistency. But when I look at the, of course, the New York Giants, they played a different level of football. I know people are going to say they played Tampa Bay, but their level of football was a little better this week. Minnesota, even though they played the Raiders, I think they got a little settle in. So you're starting to see more teams, to me, in the third week and possibly the fourth week, starting to settle into the season a little bit deeper.
Yeah, Ice, we're going over the eye test for the NFL, man. Give me your eye test, a brief eye test of the NFL. I know we're going to get to the picks later in our overtime show, but your eye test of the NFL so far.
What you thought you know about the old school NFL is not what it appears to be. It's not your daddy's old NFL. And with the new changes, with the injuries of quarterbacks, misinterpretations of play calling, and not doing the right things, you're seeing a lot of the top-notch franchises that we've known in the past faltering. And now some of the newer teams, if you will, or other teams are taking advantage of it. And it's scary right now, and not just for fantasy. When you look at teams, it's almost very unpredictable. The only thing we know is Patriots are the Patriots. We know that. We know Dallas is looking halfway decent, but you can't count on that either. But all we really know right now, that I know, the one thing for sure is the Patriots are the Patriots. Everything else is so wide open because you have new quarterbacks, you have new talent, you have new talent working with old talent, you have people that should not be running are running. Guys like Frank Gore. Frank Gore, man, is a
Fossil.
Man, that's an understatement. And not just a fossil, he's getting it done.
Yeah, he is.
So, what you think you know, you don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on. I really don't. But it's entertaining in a way, unless you're playing fantasy football. Anyway.
If you don't mind, I don't want to add one more thing, man.
Go ahead.
One thing I've noticed this past weekend, you have a lot of quarterbacks that scouts overlooked. Like the quarterback for the Panthers wasn't drafted. The quarterback that's playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they kind of basically fell through the cracks. And these cats can play, man. They can really play. So it makes me wonder, what are these scouts doing out there, man? It's like they're following the names that we know. A lot of these quarterbacks that are stepping up and down really play. Even the quarterback for the Giants, Daniel Jones, wasn't quarterback when you thought of quarterbacks coming out this past season, in the past year, that can sling it. A lot of these cats, man, that have been unknown are stepping up and really doing a hell of a job.
I with Jones, I saw him in a couple of games at Duke, and I wasn't really impressed. And so I didn't know. To me, he seemed like a quarterback you pick in the fourth, fifth round. He didn't seem like a first-round quarterback. The thing that I know we're going to talk about a little bit later is the coaches and the play calling. You know, you got Bruce Arians. I don't know what's on his head. He was like, okay, I meant to take a delayed game so we can go 5 yards back to win a game at Tampa Bay. And he was like maybe 1 yard off, wide 1 yard, and it didn't make sense. And he's like, yeah, I meant to do that. That didn't make sense. And even the coach at Cleveland, I think, Ice, you mentioned this.
Oh, my God.
A draw play on 4th and 9 ain't going to cut it. Ain't going to cut it. Maybe in Pee Wee, maybe in Sandlot, flag football, but not in the NFL when coaches and players know that Mayfield is a runner. That's not going to cut it in the NFL. Anybody want to speak to some of that?
Yeah, I want some of that if you let me.
Go ahead.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna tell you that Cleveland situation. You tried 3 passes right there, and in the red zone on the goal line. I mean, it reminds me of the Seattle situation in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be logical in the play calling. You just have to be logical. And I don't want to go here, but I'm gonna do it anyway very quickly. Cleveland needs to be worried about their head coach. I said it from the beginning.
Wow.
I'm just saying early on. Before it was like now we're making excuses for Baker Mayfield as to what's not happening in play calling. He was great because he didn't have enough talent around you, right? So he's making things happen. They're winning games. Now you're surrounded with all kind of talent, which I said before, it's a different kind of step when you play with talent. You got to learn how to deal with that too. But it's just the lack of play calling, the lack of understanding of those crucial moments, that crucial moment where you could actually win that game, says a lot because it goes directly to the head coach. I don't want to just throw him under the bus yet, but I'm a little skeptical from the standpoint of making these decisions in your first year. With all his talent, that's one of the things we always wonder, could he handle the scenario with all of these egos and these folks coming in brand new?
Chris Collins said something that just stood out for me during the game in Cleveland. He was like, if this guy doesn't throw the ball in 2 seconds, he's running. He's running, and he can't get the ball off. And I think NFL teams are really kind of cluing in on that. If Baker can't get that ball off in under 3 seconds, he's in trouble.
Which says to me he's scared of getting hit. He doesn't want to stand there. He doesn't want to stand there and look down the barrel. And a quarterback, sometimes you got to stand there and take the hit, look down the barrel. And that's what he's afraid of doing. And like you said, defensive coordinators have picked up on that. You're going to see blitzes coming left and right. Or they're going to be faking like they're coming just to basically play with his head. I think the move with the coach. I was watching that Sunday night. And for some reason, I'm saying to myself, they was thinking that the play wasn't going to actually happen. You know, a lot of times teams do that to jump off sides. I said, maybe the coach can't do math because if even they jump off sides, it's not going to be a first down. So to me, I didn't think it doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure he's not going to run it. And it almost seemed like they were debating back and forth because if you remember the play, he ran the clock down to 2 seconds, and they seemed like they weren't together, and he snapped the ball. And I was like, okay. And also, man, one thing people aren't saying, which I find to be interesting too, or I wonder about, does Baker Mayfield has the opportunity to basically run an audible?
Right.
Because even if that play came in, it didn't seem like it was going to work, he should have got out of it, man. He should have basically got out of it and went to something else when you have all these high-priced talent around that can catch the ball. But the play call itself from the start, which is horrible. I mean, you don't run a draw in a situation where you're going to need 9, especially on 4th down. Actually, 3rd down, you want to try to sneak it and then maybe go for it on 4th down. But for 4th down and 9, and you decide to basically hand off to a draw, and then like I said, you get down there at the end zone, you got 3 timeouts, man. 2 minutes left to go in the game. This is what I'm hating. I hear a lot of people say, and this goes back to the Giants Super Bowl, but somebody said this on Sunday. You don't want to score too fast. Damn that, score the ball. Forget about picking time and leaving time. Yes, I hate when I hear announcers say, you don't want to score. Put the ball in the end zone. That's the name of the game. But it seemed like to me he got down there and he got frozen. He choked up a little bit. He's a first-time head coach. But someone said something Monday what I found to be interesting is that Baker Mayfield told the ownership that he wanted this guy to be the head coach. Wow. And that's why they kind of pushed him up the ladder. And if that's true, and you allow your quarterback that basically played for 8 games to determine who's going to basically run your organization, you're in trouble deeper than we could see on the outside.
Yeah, no doubt. Because the point of it is, I always come back to it. It's about trying to call plays and be a head coach. You can say what you want to. When you have not been a head coach, you're not responsible just for the offense. You're responsible for the whole team. Now, I think what they should have done is kept him as offensive coordinator and got them a head coach. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Folks, when we say on Blog Talk that when we're talking, Black is eating his wings while we're talking, we're not joking. He is eating his wings while we're doing the show. The man can multitask.
I couldn't wait to the baseball report tonight,
look, you know what? I tell you what, you don't got to worry about that too much longer. Then what's going to be your excuse?
So I'm going to stay with you, Ice, on this one, man. The QBs, man. Is this the changing of the guards right now?
Say that again. I'm sorry, please.
The NFL with these QBs, these young quarterbacks coming in. Is it a changing of the guards?
It could be temporarily. I'm not going to just throw it out there just yet. You still have to prove it. 1 or 2 weeks is not going to get you to allow you to ride off into the sunset as the guy. Okay, you still have to prove it. There's still some veteran guys that have hurt. I know everybody's on this show particularly, we like to slam Cam Newton, but I mean, you have to see.
I ain't touching Cam Newton no more.
I'm just saying, right. I mean, but we just have to see what's going on. And I think it's going to take more than 1 week and more than 2 weeks to really see if they're capable. Because when you don't have film on a quarterback, then they can surprise you. They can do some things and they can have a lot of success. But that 1 week of film goes a long way. And plus, too, there's going to be mistakes. But my question is, you look at Teddy Bridgewater. He managed the game, but 177 yards was his passing. We have all those weapons. So before, I mean, I'm really looking at how can some of these guys use the weapons that they have, a la what's going on in Pittsburgh with Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, that type of situation where all this talent, but if you really say that we're having change in the guard and quarterback, I'm going to need to see some of these quarterbacks use that talent the way it should be used properly. Then I'm like, okay, now we have something. But just because you did a little something and New Orleans was able to win by only having 177 yards of offense, because I'm telling you, my man, I loved him this week even though they lost. Russell Wilson was coming, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, they were losing, and he knew they couldn't win. He had one more play. He threw a touchdown. I was like, I love him. He was still going for a jogger. He threw for 2 and ran for 2. I was like, dude, I want you on all my teams.
So is it passing of the torch, Black?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think in a lot of cases, what's going to make it a passing of the torch? Money. Let's take Carolina, for instance. Cam Newton is owed $21 million next year. It's not guaranteed. If they release him, they give him it's $2 million against the salary cap. Whether this cap plays good or not, the way Cam is being flaky, I don't think he's coming back, bro. He might play this season, but I don't think he's going to be there next year. I think at some point, too, Carolina has done a good job. And we all could say we don't want to touch Cam or whatever. They're tired of the antics of Cam, the way he came in. He's always been kind of a selfish guy, kind of on the sideline doing this. And you got at some point, this is a man's game. Let's be honest. The way this cat shows up at press conference, that's not, you don't want your quarterback coming off that way. Let's be honest. So I think really, when I read, I think it was Monday, that the coach said they're going to give Cam all the time he needs.
Ooh,
when he says that, they're going to give you all the time. They want him to be 100% ready to take over, bro. You're done. Let's keep in mind how Dak Prescott got the job in Dallas Cowboys. Let's just keep that in mind. No one saw that coming. And Tony Romo, Jerry Jones loved Tony Romo. Loved him.
I did.
He couldn't get back on the field. And I said the same thing with Ben. Ben is owed a lot of money. And the problem that Pittsburgh has Sunday, for the first half, they were scared to let this cat play. In the second half, they let him play. He delivered. And I think in Jacksonville, the same thing with Foles. He's going to be out to the end of the season. If this cat keeps going, whatever they pay for this year, he could be out the door. It's going to come down to finance, man. I think that's why a lot of these quarterbacks are going to step in. I know the Giants right now kicking themselves in the butt because they got to pay Eli $17 million to walk along the sideline for the rest of the season. $17 million. Well, you could have got rid of him. You could have got rid of him. Yeah. You got to give him something. Here's a cat that says, I don't want to be traded. Are you kidding me? He has a no troll craze. He'd rather walk off the sideline. That's how much of a punk he is, in my opinion. Go play somewhere else, bro. Go play somewhere else. But they got to pay him $17 million. So a lot of these teams are going to look at the money that's involved, and they're going to move on, bro. They're going to move on. That cat in Carolina, I know whatever the case may be, that Sunday he was slinging that ball, and that team played. I haven't seen Carolina Panthers play that well on offense in a couple of years.
Yeah. I'm going to stay with you on this one, Black. What players stood out in week 3?
I'm going to tell you a player that didn't stand out that I was really rooting for. Ice talked about it, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy, you're in a perfect situation, bro. You got to ball these games. You got to really pull it together and get it done because you could be the man there when Drew leaves. But if you keep playing like you played on Sunday, it's not going to happen. I like him, but it's not going to happen. I got to start with Damian, the Giants quarterback, man. I know I'm a Giants fan, and I booed the guy when they selected him. But this cat shows that he has it up here. He sees the field. I know people want to kind of wait and see when it was against Tampa Bay. But this cat basically thinks the game. He knows where to move out of the pocket. His passes are in front of the receiver. He leads the receivers, which I'm kind of happy to see. And the receivers are excited to run plays for him. They're excited. If the Giants get held on to OBJ, here we go. Here we go. The quarterback, Minshew, I think that's his name in Jacksonville. That rascal can sling the ball. Mustache, no mustache. He could sling the ball and get it done. I know people are going to laugh at him, but I really think he's going to find himself starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to say this, man. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it. Philadelphia, there was a play where the offensive line basically stopped blocking.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, I've never seen nothing like. I'm telling Alpha Foes Wentz.
Wentz.
Yes, I've never seen nothing like that in watching football, bro. It's like they stopped, looked around. He was getting pounced on. No one.
A lookout block.
Yes, it was like they were playing their own team in 7-on-7, and they gave up on the play. I don't understand. And I know people said that he's not really into a personal lives with his team. It showed on that play, man. They're not feeling him as a team for whatever reason. And everybody blamed him for the loss. His passes were on the money. Those passes were being dropped, hitting those players in the hand. That head coach need to get a grip on that quickly, because if not, that team is going to go south real fast.
Yeah. All right, so who stood out?
Well, I was looking at a couple of different players, even in losses. One of them was Lamar Jackson, man. I'm just saying, he threw the ball 43 times, and he really didn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, there's other things that Kansas City defense came to play that day, but they were in the ball game. That was probably one of the most exciting football games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
They were going back and forth. And we know what Kansas City can do. It can do with Mahomes there, but yeah, Lamar Jackson, but also Mark Ingram, man. Woo. Man, he was running with purpose. Ooh. Strong purpose. He was like, I wish somebody would. And they can still get that effort from him all the time. They're going to be dangerous with their team. I like their team. I like them a lot. And you just kind of look at how things go. And I'm trying to think who was pretty good. Evans, the wide receiver, Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. 3 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, he almost made Jameis not seem like he was bad that day, but he showed up too. And just passing that ball around, man, it is amazing how, overall as a team, the Patriots, I mean, you may not like them, but coming out the box, it was like, man. And we lose Edelman in the first half. They lose some other folks. We lost, they lost Antonio Brown. And they still just keep it pushing. They find ways to find other people. And Gordon had issues too. But as a whole, as a team, and that defense has rise to the occasion. They look nasty, man. And this, 3 games in?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me wonder if they get too banged up, whether they can last the whole season. Because they've been there. I mean, they've been going to the Super Bowl for the last, couple of years. And those are long seasons. But the 2 guys that really impressed me, I'm going to go right back to the game that you saw, Ice, and I saw, Baltimore, Kansas City. Those 2 wide receivers, Hardman and Robinson, man, those guys are playmakers, man. I didn't see them coming. And Pat Mahomes got, just so many tools he could work with. Is making me think that I need to kind of hold back my prediction of the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl, because if these rascals can play like they played at Baltimore, I mean, last week I said this was going to be a test for Baltimore to see where they are and what they need to do to get to that level. But those 2 guys, they were running all over the field, and they didn't even need Tariq Hill. He was on the sidelines in a Kansas City jacket, and they were just showing up and showing out. And so if they can add those 2 in the mix, man, they are really dangerous. But Pat Mahomes, man, I just like watching him play. I just like watching him playing. He's just amazing, man. He's just an amazing quarterback. And Black, you said something earlier about looking down the barrel. I saw a few times where Pat Mahomes looked down the barrel, threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
I'm going to take this hit, but I'm going to get 6 points.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Black, I'm going with you on this. I'm thinking about the coaches. Not the coaches, but the let's go with the New England Patriots, and they released Antonio Brown last Friday, and I don't think they're going to pay him his $9 million signing bonus. And I wanted you to think about or talk to me about how this is going to play out, man, because it doesn't look good. Antonio Brown says he's going back to Central Michigan to go back to school. Now he's talking about, hey, I still want to play. It seems like this story will not go away, bro.
Well, here's where they have Antonio Brown, man. They have when he signed the contract, there was a clause stating is there anything out there that we need to know about? And I'm kind of paraphrasing. And he signed to be no. So basically, that gave New England an out to kind of just basically take that contract and rip it up. And I didn't realize when he did the text, because they basically let the other stuff that's going on in the NFL go on. But when he did the text from being a New England Patriot at that point, and because he texted while he was a Patriot, they couldn't handle him anymore. I think at that point, Kraft, I think the NFL put pressure on them and said, you know what, he's got to go. And if you don't take him, if you don't let him go, we're going to put him on exemplar. He's not going to be on your team. So in a sense, you're going to be paying him to not play. And I think they got that call because why I say that? Because the day that the story broke that Thursday night, Friday, he was in practice Friday morning. And Friday afternoon, he was gone. So they knew about it Thursday night. But I think they got a call that said, the NFL said, if you don't release him, we're going to basically yank him off the field. And the Patriots did not want to pay him not to play. So I think that's how that story kind of really, that place how that kind of really happened. Because the Patriots don't care. You could stab me tonight, bro. If you can catch, they'll sign you tomorrow. They don't care. They don't care. That's who they are. If you can help them win, they can care less. Look at the history. They bring anybody in. If they see value and talent in you, they don't care. And they signed him, but they were smart enough to put that in. If anything coming down the pipe that we need to be aware of that's going to happen that may basically have us release you. In so many words, he signed no, and that popped in. I think it was going to deal with the case he has going against him. But when this cat basically texts as a New England Patriot and does this, yeah, that was totally different. Totally different.
They don't give him the $9 million signing bonus, and it looks like I was reading one report where he may just get $158,000 this year, which would be fine with me. I'd take that in a heartbeat. But from a guy who went from $30 million to about $15 million, now to be earning $158,000, and he got to pay child support, 5 baby mamas,
Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra. You always remind us of Cobra. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, well, I think he's beside himself. Who knows what he's doing? I think he's still trying to find a way to be relevant. But in regards to the Patriots situation, he had went overboard. Particularly if it's true that he was the one that sent the other accuser, alleged accuser, text message telling what he was going to do to her. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, New England was smart, as Black Thor mentioned, by putting in that clause. But the other thing they were smart was too, they let him play. They got a touchdown, bro. So, they got their money. They let him get on the field and show him the Patriot way, and he was enjoying himself and whatnot. So they got something out of it. They used him for whatever time he was there. But the way that he comes across is just ridiculous. And I'm not certain. But I'll say this. I'm not sure where he goes and who knows where he's at. But if it clears up, man, and there's a chance, some crazy A team might come up and do the shot. But right now, he's so out of control. It seems to be. It's like, who do you think you are? And they're kind of showing him that right now by now, which is really sad because now he's going to school online. And I mean, he's all over the place. I'm like, dude, do you want to play football or not? Why don't you just become a talk show host, a reality TV? Because he's pretty good in front of talking to people. So I don't know. Maybe he should have his own talk show. But football doesn't seem like it's in his cards. And I don't, as much as everybody's talking about the money, I don't know if he's that pressed about the cash, man. And I'm just saying that. Now, that might sound crazy to you, but as you mentioned the increments, 30 million, then you mentioned the 5 million, then you mentioned 100. If you know that you need this money, don't you just be quiet? You don't shake the trees like that, do you? 3 times?
Maybe
You don't
there's
shake the trees, do you?
maybe there's something else going on, Ice. Maybe there's some I mean in his head, man. I don't know.
If your girl, your wife, your girl, your baby mamas and your mistresses telling you they need Pampers, formula, and Cobra, how the hell can you just be going off on some tangent? Like, I don't know, maybe you need counseling. That's always that's the solving
That's the Oprahism.
yeah, look, isn't that just the solution to everything,
Yeah,
Puma?
that's the
Look, and then don't let him say he has anxiety. No disrespect to anybody. And then it's like, oh, we gotta watch him. We keep a close watch on him. That's the magic word, right? Anxiety. Then when we have to put you in a safe place so we can watch you. Maybe he needs that. No disrespect to those that really deal with that, but maybe he needs that because right now it's like I'm gonna say this. It's so out of control. It's almost like 45. I only can catch what I need, bro. I can't even keep watching it. Hell, I might as well watch Younger Wrestler and see if Victor Newman gonna come back to life. I heard they killed him on the show. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff happened when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it never came out. Black, it never came out.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh was covering it up real good and making it go away. And as soon as he left Pittsburgh, all this stuff kind of just sprung out, and we laughed at Pittsburgh saying they didn't get anything back except draft picks, and Pittsburgh looking like the winner in this. Black.
Well, it's interesting because I think, you say, here I say about the baby mom stuff, and that's very true. But I think part of the problem with Pittsburgh allowing him to be the way he is now, because if you kind of basically cover up and keep covering up, he keeps assuming that's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. And now no one's covering up for him. So he's out there now. No one's basically coming back behind him and picking up. And that's how he's always probably been this way for a while, but no one's picking up for him. Another point I want to make, man, he was 2 weeks away. Patriots signed him, gave him a $9 million guarantee up front. He was 2 weeks away from getting $5 more million from the Patriots. And then another month, they're going to pay him $4 million. So basically, they were going to give him $18 million for this season. $18 million. And this cat couldn't basically be still. The problem with him, in my opinion, is he's addicted to attention, fame, and always wants his name out there beyond everything else. He lives in social media, bro. He lives in it. But at some point, I'm not saying it would have changed him, but I think it would have been a little different if Pittsburgh would have handled it early on with his going nuts. And they always brushed it around because he's talented. And now he always assumed, okay, because I can do this, I can get away with it. And Oakland at some point got enough of it. And the Patriots said, we're not going to give you the opportunity here. With that text, all we want you to do is catch. We can deal with the rest of the stuff. If you just catch, we're good. He decided to step out of that edge, out of that fence, and it was all over. So I know people say another team going to give him a chance. I don't think the NFL is going to allow another team to give him a chance. That's my personal opinion. I'm going to tell them not to sign him. But they already said to most teams, keep in mind, we're investigating him. You can sign him, but we are, meaning that he may never play for you. Keep that in mind.
Ice, doesn't it seem very ironic that as soon as Pittsburgh lets him go and trades and get rid of him, that all of a sudden all these allegations and things just come out?
Oh yeah, no doubt. But you think about Pittsburgh being an old school franchise. Rooney's been around for a long time, so they know where the skeletons are buried. They know how to work that system, and that's why they've only had so many head coaches. They know how to deal with players that are out of control for the most part. So I think they just, instead of really handling it, they just kind of kept him at bay. And then it came out. And Oakland, of course, is almost like a dumpster fire because they're trying to build a foundation, which was horrible for them. But then he ends up in New England, and as Black Thor mentioned as well, they don't put up with that. And they really don't. So you got to come correct. And if you can't, then Belichick will show you the door. We say thank you for your service for the week. Thank you for the highlight. And we will keep in our, as we get ready to make that run to Super Bowl, you will be in the season highlights. And don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. That type of thing.
All right, we're going to tackle one more story before we go to our overtime. And I think I want to grab an NBA story. And so, I'm going to stay with you on this one. Maybe the NBA is a little bit serious about this tampering rule because they just tampered a team that they said I mean, the team had the player. And they said they were tampering with their own player. $50,000. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a little light. I mean, it's fine. It's because they've heard a lot of commotion. It's a little light. We're gonna give you the max when it's time. That type of thing. Man, come on. Who don't know that? Hell, what you gonna give him less than the max? That wasn't no secret. Now Golden State had said that, which they saying that alluding to that Golden State might be the one trying to be a suitor for him in the future. Now that's different, but it's kind of like a slap on the hand. It's like, you know what? You got an issue, you got a problem in the league. It's like, okay, don't y'all say nothing, because when we come after the other people, we got to get them too. So it's like kind of slapping on the hand. So I understand it, but I mean, it's like, really, what's $50,000 to a team?
Yeah. Black, I just saw you shaking your head when I asked this question. It's a $50,000 fine for tampering with their own player. Your thoughts, man?
It's a joke, bro. The old $10 million thing, this is more of a joke than the $10 million thing. But it's the way the NFL is trying to show the public, not NFL, NBA trying to show the public, we're serious about this tampering stuff. We're not going to deal with it. They're not going to deal with it until the season starts. When they start really tampering, then they're going to be quiet about it. But they're so pissed off that the image that it projects that these young players are basically moving around, talking to each other. So they want to seem like they have some control, which they really don't. They just don't. There's no way you can kind of leverage or move tampering out the way because, like we said, or I said before, these cats go out to dinner together. They travel together. They talk. They're boys. They hook up. Back in the day, a lot of NBA players didn't run the same circles. These cats from different teams. These cats now you could be on one team, they're all together. So you can't tell me they're not saying this, not saying that. That's how it goes. That's how LeBron ended up in Miami. I mean, was that tampering with him and basically his peanut butter friend Dwayne Wade was talking
peanut butter jelly?
I mean, come on, man. That's conversation. That's not definitely saying they're playing the future, but underneath all of this, man, I'll say this: in the NBA, this is a part of it. I'm not sure they're looking at, but they don't like the fact that these cats are taking power and using it. And the same thing in the NFL to an extent. They don't like these young cats, for the most part, using the power that they have. Is, you know what? I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. They're trying to get a control over, or at least make it seem like they're squashing that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that horse is out of the barn. And for most players that have the power, they're going to start to leverage and start to use it in most sports.
I was wondering about this story is that you got your general manager who says, yeah, we want to keep him and we want to sign him to the max contract. I don't see that as tampering. I don't see that as tampering at all. And that's why I kind of laughed at it. You're getting fined for a player you already have. And I guess they said it was during the time period where he was kind of out there and could be suited by other teams. But still, you saying that, Ice, if you said that as a general manager, like, hey, we want to keep him, a reporter asks you, hey, what do you intend to do? Hey, we're going to keep him. We're going to offer him the max contract. I don't see that as tampering if the player's been playing for your team.
Yeah, but they're kind of like, if we're going to lay down this law, you got to be quiet too. You can't be out there talking, spreading the news, talking to his original team if we're going to chastise others that are coming after your player. So they're trying to show as if, hey, we're going out to everybody. No one is immune to this rule. So they'll start light and then maybe take it up, and perhaps one may think that someone may take them serious. We will see.
Yeah, Black, you want a little bit more of this?
No, man, I think that covers it, man. I think they're basically trying to flex their muscle. To me, I want to see a true case of tampering, and you fine somebody $10 million, and then I believe it's a serious rule. That's when that happens. When you can show me that someone tampered and you charge them $10 million, then I'm good. Until then, I'm gonna keep laughing.
They need to find magic. Anywho, we got a few minutes left. We're gonna talk some NFL football. Blackie came in first place last week with an 11-5 record. Ice came in with a 10-6 record. I came in with a 9-7 record, and Pop came in with an 8-8, 500. But I'm still in the lead, baby. I'm still in first class. You're in economy class, Black. You're in economy class, but still 4 games up. Total of 33 wins, 14 losses with the tie. Black Thor has 29 wins, 18 losses with the tie, along with Pop and Ice have the 28-19 record. And so give me your thoughts about the picks, Ice.
I'm gonna just say this. It's just like chipping away at a sculpture, bro. You had I see you look at it. Black Thor, you see? Black you see? He Diesel? Damn. Black Thor, look at it. Black boy, that boy been working out. Anyway, look, that boy been working out, mama. Look, that boy look at him Diesel. But you know what? It's a long season. I'm happy for you, but we are literally chiseling away at your first place. So you notice you lost the game last week. Black Thor moved to second. And now Pop dropped down. I told you Pop was gonna drop. He here. Now we're gonna slowly but surely, 1 week at a time. First it was 6 games, right? Now it's 4. Now it's 5. Then it's gonna be 3. Then it's gonna 2. All I want to do is we say this, let you get off of this real quickly. I want you to have the same enthusiasm that you have right now with all the toes and all that. When it get tight, baby, when it get hot, that's what I want you to do. I want you to be the same way, with the same enthusiasm. When you start going, look, we can't see you no more. That's all I'm looking for, bro. Can you get that?
All right, Black. I see you over there smiling. What's up, man?
Well, you know what? All I'm saying is tell Pops I said another 4 or 5 weeks. Don't act like he can't pick up the phone and give his picks because you know that's what he does. When he starts losing, he got quiet practice. He got to go soak his feet. We don't want to hear none of that stuff. We don't hear none of this shit. We ain't having that none of this shit.
Yeah, I got to send him. I'll send him a copy of this. He can go have
absolutely. Just tell him that. You tell him Big Red said that. But anyway.
It's all love, Pop.
Yes, bro.
All love, baby.
Bro. But it was so funny, man, because I was just rooting for the Steelers to win. And I was like, damn, I needed that one for the Steelers. Like I said, man, it's chipping away. It's early. I said to you on Sunday night, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I'm going to continue to basically say, good luck to you. Keep moving, bro. What's they saying in Smokey Bandit? I'm tail grabbing your ass right now, bro. Coming at you, baby. Number 2. Welcome to Bandit, baby.
Not the Smoking the Bandit quote. Oh man. Folks, I got to end it right there. We're gonna go to Goon Squad overtime. You can hear our picks right on Blog Talk Radio. We're gonna end it right there with the guys. Hey, I'll see you over. We'll do some overtime, and we'll cover the stories we haven't covered thus far. See you.
Hey, Puma, you got 3 minutes. You can still study. You better hurry up. Make you change your picks.
Oh, my picks are in, baby. The picks are in, baby. I did my homework. I did my gazetas and all that stuff. The picks are in, baby.
Okay. Look, Black Thor, you hear that?
I hear it. Let's go, baby.
It's kind of like the NBA lottery. You can't change it. Once the balls is in, ain't no changing them.
Don't remind me of that, because the Knicks, I thought the Knicks were going to get Zion Williamson in that lottery. How could they lose that? I still don't understand. I wake up mornings like, how did they lose that?
Can I tell you one thing before we go?
Real quick.
Jim Dolan didn't pay his dues. That's why you're
all right, that's it.
Get the pick. Cleveland did. They got LeBron.
We got to go.
Tell Jimmy to pay his dues.
Oh.